Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review, and another anniversary review, I should say, because this one marks the 40th anniversary of which this film has become kind of a cult classic over the years. This was released in 1977, year 2017, 40 years, and probably you could call this an early version of Arachnophobia. And it stars William Shatner, in the Kingdom of the Spiders. So, Kingdom of the Spiders, released in the year 1977. So, marks the 40th anniversary of this film. Now, Kingdom of the Spiders. Now, here coming from a guy like myself who has a huge fear of spiders. I'm scared to death of spiders. They just, every time, when in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, sometimes I wake up, I'm thinking I can see one on my walls or on the ceiling, whatever, the little hallucinations, thinking you see one there. When I just jump, out of fright. I'm scared to death of spiders, but funny thing is though, I'm afraid of spiders though, but I love Arachnophobia. I think that is still the best spider film with a good cast like Jeff Daniels, John Goodman. I love Arachnophobia. That's a great movie. This one though, I have to say, played on an early version of Arachnophobia. Now, I think that how they handle the spiders in this film, because they hired spider wranglers, like things that they do with Arachnophobia, how they train the spiders, all that stuff. Except for maybe for the lead spider, I think it was like mechanical spider, but for the smaller ones though. And here they guess in this during the production they had to use over 50, not 50, 5,000, over 5,000 spiders, or tarantulas, I should say, because people say tarantulas are technically not spiders, but they're technically members of the spider family. So, and they said they use these and use some rubber model spiders too, but for the most part, over 5,000 tarantulas. And says the spider wranglers, Mexican spider wranglers, offering $10 each for a live spider they could find, and which means which obviously came up to half of this film's budget. I think the film was $1 million because, and half of that budget, $500,000, went to getting all these spiders. Spider tarantulas, whatever you say, it goes both ways. But I thought the use of the spiders were very well, because just look at this cover right here. I know this is the bare bones film, but I know there's a special edition though, which is on Amazon's pretty expensive. I don't know why, but just look at this here. This whole person here covered in spiders. Just, ugh. It still gives me the creeps because I hate spiders. But William Shatner, I thought he did a good job in the film as well. He's an animal veterinarian, and the film opens up. There's this cow that's in the field, and I also get the unsettledness because it's coming. You see point of views of spiders coming in all directions, going towards this cow, and just. Even though they don't cover it up in the spiders, but they bite into it, because the thing is with how the spiders have a very toxic venom, much more powerful, because I think they have they've gotten used to these pesticides, sprays and all that stuff, so it makes them immune, and they have to develop this very powerful venom. And they kill some cattle as well. So in this film, But and William Shatner, you know, and also this other woman who's a ar- an arachnologist, who's a person who studies spiders. And one thing leads to another. They find the William Shatner, the woman played by Tiffany Bolling, and the farmers of the cattle of the cattle being killed. They find this big dirt mound that has the spiders in it, and they're suggesting that they should burn it. Which they do though, but it makes things worse because there are off in the distances there are other bigger mounds of spiders in there. And he goes and also get the typical thing because you get the little take on Jaws because the mayor does not want to. This is not a problem because we have the county fair to do. We're not shutting it down because of this. Same thing with Jaws with the mayor because it's the 4th of July. The beaches keep the beaches open and all that. It plays out that typical cliche of that though. Of course, he is not going to listen though. But and then you get the unsettling because when the farmer when he's driving and all of a sudden there's spiders inside the truck with them, and I just get the unsettling because you do not know when one is on you until you just notice that's me. I just get that because I'm afraid of spiders. I can just relate to all that cringing and paranoia fear of that, and he swerves off the road, and by the time William Shatner, the other cops, they find him, he's been cocooned. And then the wife's turn. She's in her house, but they're already in it. They're in it, and they get her, she starts shooting at it. Too bad she doesn't turn the gun on herself, but the spiders, they get to her. And I think also that one thing leads to another that when the spiders are all over the field, they even get to this guy in a crop duster airplane, and there's spiders all inside with him in the plane. And he's flying out of control. And he flies right into the building next to William Shatner. Good actual explosion of the building exploding with the plane crashes into it. And another one that William Shatner, I think it kills I think it was his ex-wife or a sister-in-law. I think it's more of a sister-in-law. I think it was, or an ex-wife. They wouldn't really pay attention to that part. And that's one thing. I think it's a little bit, even though it's a bit 95 minutes. I think it's a little bit too slow because it wants us to build up with these characters and until we'll get more into the finale with the full ongoing spider attacks. I think it was a bit too slow though. So, but beside all that though, and she saves the little girl that he knows, and then the rest of these people, they get inside this they barricade themselves inside this lodge, trying to keep the spiders from coming in. They're boarding up the windows, and one part in the kitchen where they're coming through the air ventilation, so they're just dropping down. I just still get creepy for it. How the way they can just drop down, how the way just ugh. And they're sitting there trying spraying with this extinguisher because they have some kind of a thing in it to might kill spiders. I don't know, but and then upstairs with the girls she's sitting on this bed. The bed is covered in the spiders and jumps and she for some reason that. When she's like, "Oh, Cody, jump into my arms," and then all of a sudden he jumps into his arms, and I think just drops her, William Shatner. I don't know, just dropped her or just let her go, and then she also maybe she fell after that. Then after that, she's still getting covered in the spiders, and the other guys with them helps her gets the spiders off them with spray and stuff, and then they're dropping through the ceiling. I mean, not the ceiling, but through the chimney, so to build a fire. And the outside, just like when he tries to open the door, William Shatner, spiders are coming through the door, and like the door is covered in the spiders, and just they're all over the place. Just this would be like my worst. Yeah, I would say probably my worst nightmare. It's just a whole swarm of these things. Oh, with this if this is what my worst, I would probably piss myself and even shit my pants. I hate spiders. I really do. This would probably be my worst nightmare. I would not be in that situation. I would shit myself and piss myself at the same time. Especially when they're bigger spiders like these tarantulas. Even though tarantulas are supposed to be are actually harmless to humans, though. But and the sheriff gets there, telling them, they need to call for help because they're not getting anything on the other end because the operator on the other end of the radio has been cocooned, dead. And when he's trying to get into town, everyone is being attacked by spiders. Everybody's just running for their lives, and they have spiders on them. People are dead and cocooned everywhere. Until one part, the water tower tips over and crushes the sheriff. He gets crushed, lands on top of the car with them. He dies. And then when they're trying to, and during the night, the fuse blows out, gets blown out, and William Shatner has to go down there to check it. And of course, I know this is going, of course, when it's in the dark and the lights, he has a flashlight, it's going in and out. He has trouble seeing. That's another worse situation. When you're in the dark and you can't see shit, just even when there's spiders in there, man, there's no way I'm not going down there. I would not go down there. Just, ugh. But he goes down there. Lights get back on. There's spiders in there, but he gets bit though. But the Tiffany Bolling, I think she did something like be able to say William Shatner, I guess, like from the talks. Like she did something, I forget. And then by the next day, they're trying to listen to this radio, see if there's any news if the military is going to do anything or attacks, but they just hear nothing. They hear like nothing. Like outside of the town, they hear like nothing is like going on. They'll mention nothing of spiders, of nothing. And then when they look out the window, the whole place has been cocooned, and as the camera of the wide shot pans, the whole entire town has been cocooned as well in the webbing. So I'm thinking, great, because it ends on a cliffhanger saying if they're gonna still be alive in the situation, or remain there forever because they're in this one big giant web of this whole town cocooned. And I also think it's supposed to takes place in Arizona as well. Because first I thought it was in Texas. Because William Shatner, because he's dressed, well, he's dressed, the cowboy hat, the boots, and all that. I thought it was in Texas, but it's in Arizona. But it leaves on the cliffhanger if they'll still be alive or dead or not, because the whole town's been webbed up. And also indicating is now it's going to be impossible to tell because it's got so much web. Who knows how many spiders is in this one thing? I would probably say over a million of them. So yeah, I probably say it's more of an early version of Arachnophobia of this. And especially with they just webbed the whole entire town. Now they're just in there, and just waiting for, if they're ever going to get out of this, if they're alive or going to die from this. But Kingdom of the Spiders, just definitely, I would say technically an early version of Arachnophobia. I still pick Arachnophobia over this though, because I saw Arachnophobia way in years before I seen Kingdom of the Spiders. I just love Arachnophobia, but especially when it has also not only tries to be scary with these spiders, but also trying to be funny as well. Just so it's very funny at times, especially the moments with John Goodman, him spraying that one spider, goes and steps on it with that. Also, that music of him when he comes around. Down, 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 down. Yeah, that's right. I'm bad. Yeah. But I love arachnophobia, and that's stuff that. And this is for dealing with spiders, and I'm glad for a time. I still take real spiders over CGI spiders, horrible, horrific sci-fi CGI spiders. This how much they put into this, like trying to get all these spiders, like over 5,000. Jesus, you know, actual real spiders in this, terrorizing a town, people running in fear, people are being covered in spiders, just everywhere you go. People are being cocooned, and they just managed to web up a whole entire town. And this, yeah, I had very cringeworthy, cringeworthy feeling fun because, like I said, I'm afraid of spiders. I just get creeped out every time I watch it. Especially tarantulas are much bigger, and it's very creepier image to look because they're bigger and how the way they move. I mean, when I first saw Arachnophobia, I was creeped out by the spiders, how the way they move, just how the way they do this, and spiders are so very scary and creepy. Ugh, yeah, I'm sure this is gonna give me nightmares when I'm asleep, because the way I said, I probably just get scared because I might imagine one on my walls, especially on the ceiling. Just that's the thing. That's why I check. Every time I go to bed, I look around my room, see if there's anything before I go to sleep. That's how paranoid I am about spiders. So yeah, I like Kingdom of the Spiders is very very creepy film, especially and plus William Shatner. I think he did a good job as well, William Shatner. And plus, there's not much to talk about because it's an old '70s film. It's just it's just straight as a straight plot as straightforward as you can get. Town being overtaken by spiders. It's just very simple as that. So there's not much to talk about, and the funny thing is the cult classic starring William Shatner, special 25th anniversary edition. It's a bare. I don't know what's so special about it whatsoever because it's just a bare bones DVD. The minute you put this in the DVD player, it just scrolls straight to the menu: play or scene index. I would like to get the special edition of this, but it's just so freaking much just for the special edition. I don't know why it's so expensive. But yeah. I like William Shatner. Captain Kirk versus the Kingdom of the Spiders. And I think he was good. The rest of the supporting cast was not that bad, but William Shatner was mainly the star of it, so that's why I watch it for William Shatner, because I enjoy William Shatner, Captain Kirk, but if anyone's not seen this, yeah, this is definitely worth mentioning for a 40th anniversary movie review of this. Just very creepy film with the spiders. If anyone has a big fear of spiders like I am, if you're brave enough to watch this, high advice, go for it. But if you're so afraid of spiders, then don't watch this. Probably don't have the stomach to sit through this like I do, because I have to. Because hey, I'm a guy who loves arachnophobia, so obviously I have the stomach to watch these films. But if anyone has much more bigger fears than me, don't watch these films. I'm just pointing out. But yeah, and just by the time this review is done, if I do go to bed, I'm just gonna once again look around and see if there's any before I go to sleep. Because there's a saying if when you're sleeping you can't feel anything. Probably gonna say that people get bit by spiders when they're in bed and they can't feel it because you're in such a deep sleep. But I'm scared of the spiders. That's why I'm always so paranoid about that stuff. But I like King of the Spiders and I enjoy Arachnophobia. But I still pick Arachnophobia over this because that's the best one. But this one I do enjoy. For the very creepiness of the spiders. And also the thing is, my dad, he remembers this film back in the day watching. I think he saw this at a drive-in, back in the day. Because I remember my dad, he told me that he does remember this film until I brought it up not too long ago. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this movie. I think he did see this in the drive-through years ago. I could be wrong on that, but I think he did mention that, though. But I remember he did see this, and I kind of was like, didn't give me an answer if he did like this film or not, though. But he does remember seeing the film, so. But that's for another time. But anyway, that's my 4th anniversary movie review of Kingdom of the Spiders. Definitely worth being a 40th anniversary movie review for. It's 40 years later, it's still creepy as hell for people who have big fears like me. But everyone likes it for William Shatner too. I'm just pointing out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.